There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Predator and Prey, a Yaocha podcast. I am Justin the Owl, representing the HOTU clan tonight, and I have with me my other two clan members. Russell. Hello, Russell. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm excited and very, very thrilled about this episode. And also, Ray. How are you, Ray?
Yeah, good, Justin and Russell. I'll get that video intro corrected today.
I love that intro so much. Oh man. So yeah, this is episode number 2, our official second episode, even though we did have kind of an unofficial bonus second episode where we chatted with Ed Brisson, the writer of the current Predator Marvel series, which was great. If you haven't listened to that, go check that out. In this episode, however, we're going to kind of follow the format from our first episode, where we talked about a film, and then we discussed 3 chapters of the new anthology book, which just came out, Eyes of the Demon, or Shadow of the Demon. Yeah, Eyes of the Demon. Sorry. And then we're going to discuss issue number 2 of the aforementioned new Marvel Predator comic, which just came out. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to do next month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which would be pretty cool. So it's been too long between drinks, guys. I don't know about you, but
it's felt like forever, guys.
Yeah. We had those 2 back to back, and then it was just like, wow.
It was a long wait. Yeah, but we're here, and I'm so excited. Do we have any news to discuss? Any Predator Yaocha related news?
All right, so I have a little tidbit, but you have to take this with a huge grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard rumblings across the internet that a new film was greenlit by Fox and Hulu, and it's not what you'd expect.
Okay.
Because it is not a sequel to Prey. It is, in fact, Alien versus Predator.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes.
A reboot film?
That's all I know. Now I will say, take that with a grain of salt, because that's the movie business, rumor and innuendo.
Sure, yeah.
But
we're used to that by now. Yeah.
But that's how Prey started. We got these rumblings about this movie, and
for a few years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think with the success of Prey, it would seem more believable. Like we as Predator fans and the Predator franchise is in a better position to actually, have some credence towards these sorts of rumors. So, I don't know. What do you guys feel about AVP as opposed to like a direct sequel to Prey?
Well, I hope that I can see it.
Come on.
No, I hope that it's rated R, and I hope that I can see it, and I just hope I just hope it's interesting. That's all I ask.
Good story would be nice.
Good story and lots of gory fun.
Well, I also think that if they're going to do that, then they're going to want to put out another Alien film before then.
Yeah.
To get the alien back in the public's consciousness before they do this crossover film again. Because it's been a while since Covenant came out.
They are doing the Alien show.
That's right. Noah Hawley is front running that or show running that.
Oh, is that coming out soon?
I don't know. Next year or something. Or,
okay. Well, maybe that's going to be their way to do that then.
Well, I at the same time, I hope they're not connected.
Well, yeah, but just a way to get people thinking about the alien again.
Yeah.
And then do a Alien versus Predator film.
I've never stopped thinking about the alien, Justin.
Me either. Me either.
I've got to say also as well, we are live streaming, so anyone that has any comments, what do you think about this rumor? I know we've got something coming now from Craig Goss. I hope AVP is balanced in each of the factions, because the previous films always felt biased towards one alien
Yep.
over the other. That's
I agree
very
with
true,
that.
Craig. Yeah, absolutely agree.
They never felt balanced at all.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, balanced is the Predator winning hands down every time.
Well, yeah. We're a little biased.
Hey,
But
they won in a flashback sequence in the first film,
yes,
and then never again.
Yes.
I love that sequence too.
Oh yeah, the at the top of the pyramid and all that. Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least in some way we get a nod towards Prey, to kind of further integrate it. I know it's been integrated with Predator 2 already, but if it's not going to be a sequel, and if we're going to get AVP, again, just references to the other movies, and I'd really like to know what happens to to Nauru and the tribe. So yeah.
Well, she probably dead.
She probably dead.
Oh boo!
Oh man! Them's fighting words.
No, we love the xenomorph.
No, we do.
We do.
But,
We do.
But
My cousin's a xenomorph, so.
Well, I hope you don't visit him very often. Yeah. On one hand, I'm excited about the prospect of this, but then I think about all the bad decisions Fox has made with those franchises, and Prey was a step in the right direction. Right. But are you guys familiar with what the original ending for The Predator was going to be?
The Predator. Oh yes. Oh God, yes. Unfortunately,
I think so. You told me about that at one point.
You're talking about the emissaries, Russell?
Well, I'm talking about at the end of The Predator there is that that Predator Iron Man suit.
Yes.
Well, that was not going to be that originally.
Oh God.
Apparently that thing was going to open up, and for no fucking reason at all, it was going to be Ellen Ripley in there.
Oh, there was talk about Ellen, about Dutch, about Newt as well.
How does it make any fucking sense for Ellen Ripley to be in there? She's 100 years in the future.
Exactly.
Bishop.
Exactly.
And she's
Bishop.
Yeah. It's even worse. Like, I was going back even further. I mean, you're talking about the ending, but did you hear about how the script was going to veer into there were going to be emissaries of predators on Earth, and they were dressed in military gear, aiding the American military against this oncoming attack from this predator?
Wow.
It was terrible.
Ray, I not only heard of that, NECA made figures of them.
Yeah.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Shocking.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's some set photos of it too, and it's pretty hilarious.
You can still see
any
it
deleted scenes or anything on the Blu-ray.
I don't own the Blu-ray, so
I do, but it makes a good coaster. That's all I'm saying. Keeps the ring marks off the table. No, but there are photos. There are set photos floating around. If you see it, and you see there's two predators, I believe they're in army gear, and there's a tank, and they're all happy and smiling. It's really weird. But wow. Yeah. Having said that as well, there are. I mean, again, I lurk in a lot of Predator and Alien forums, and a lot of people. There are a few people that actually say, yeah, I actually like the Predator. It's pretty good. So you've got to respect it. Everyone's got opinions.
That's true.
That makes me want to vomit.
There's a lot of people who like Age of Khonshu too, but
yeah, exactly.
Wrong show.
I know.
But there's no one that likes James Patterson's Shadow novel.
Oh yes, that's universally loathed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Any other? I mean, that's a big slab of rumor news.
Yeah, that's a great. I hope there is some credence to that rumor. I would love that.
I have a bit of news that Matt Howell has not seen any other Predator movie. So,
what other than Predator?
Other than Predator and Prey, no pun intended.
Oh, really? Yeah, of course you've seen Prey. But yeah, wow. Okay, Matt, you got to get on it. It's It's
Predator
an
2 is
interesting
yeah.
ride, Predator 2.
You need
Predator 2
that.
has to happen.
You need that cocaine-induced Gary Busey in your life. Now,
And Scorpio.
and that was
Scorpio.
that was before Gary Busey's accident that made him crazy. So that means
Was that before the accident?
Yeah.
Because actually,
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the behind the scenes of Predator 2, and we're kind of veering away, but Gary Busey, he's larger than life. They had these behind the scenes, and he owns the camera. Like, they're doing a documentary, and he just grabs the camera, he starts talking weird things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That man is a portal into the abyss. Yeah.
Too late to go home now.
Too late to go home now. He's got so many the lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my!
I'm gonna rip out your entire endocrine system.
It's an extraterrestrial. It's a fucking alien.
The OWLF, otherworld life form. They actually had a reference there, Predator 2. I mean, we're not going to talk about Predator 2, of course, but tying into what we are going to talk about, there, did you catch? I forgot her name now. The one in Predator, the female survivor. So her character, Anna,
yes.
yeah. Her, she can be seen in the video screens in Predator 2, and a bit of old footage from Arnie.
She's the only one.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was pretty good. They had that kind of tied. That Predator 2 is so good in so many respects of actually trying to tie things together and setting up AVP, all that sort of stuff.
Sometimes you just want a movie that's batshit insane, and that movie is it.
Absolutely. And there's so many great quotes from that movie. It's great.
El Scorpio is ready.
He's ready.
There's no killing what can't be killed. There's no stopping what can't be stopped.
You want some ganja?
Want some candy? Want some candy?
You guys have to cut back.
All right.
So we should get into, I guess.
Let's move on to our next segment, Old Scars.
Oh, yeah, Old Scars. Oh, yeah, Old Scars. Yeah, the letter. Sorry, there you go. Yes. So, Justin, what do we got? Old Scars here.
We're going to talk about the original classic from 1987, Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, the original where it all began.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't even have to rewatch this for the show.
Oh no, me too.
But I did anyway.
Of course.
One,
because I just watched it last month. But
also after Prey, right? Yeah,
before
Prey. Yeah.
It's one of the movies I've probably seen the most, and I know Ray, it's one of the ones you've seen the most.
Oh yes, I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen it. Back in, God, what was it, 1990 or something? I was 25 already, but I've been systematically watching it regularly ever since. So that's another 25 years after that. So yeah, it's it's always a good time, and there's never a bad excuse to watch it, Justin. So
Absolutely.
If you watch it again, you gotta watch it. Maddie, can I be on your review?
Versus Watchers.
Yes, of course.
Oh yes, definitely.
HOTU, he is a gun. You don't know how deadly he is.
Think of how much work it would be to take his head off and sever the spine
exactly.
out.
Well,
that would take some heft.
Didn't the orb kill him though? So it's like
the orb, yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Well,
the Predator's just like
never really dead in Marvel.
Too heavy. Imagine cleaning that stuff off and getting the skull.
Oh man,
that's a month's work.
He's got that blue gunk, and he's like,
yeah. I gotta go get me some more.
I hope that's going to be a story actually when one of the OCHA goes up against like a giant, like something with a giant
that was
head
like,
that they have
alien.
It's an actual labor to like rip this thing's head and spine out. Like it takes some actual work, and they need some help to do it.
That'd be great, yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Because we've always seen predators like being physically superior when they hunt. Be great to see them take on something that's just massive. You know, I don't know what's an alien that's a giant, something from Star Wars. You know, oh yeah, the
Like
that
the
little thing,
Wampa from
the Wampa.
The Rancor.
Yeah, the Rancor. That's what I'm
Rancor,
thinking.
yeah.
Imagine that. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
that would be great. Yeah.
Well,
let's
I
see that.
mean, I doubt that it would happen because
This
that's
is dinosaurs.
that
Yeah,
is
absolutely, Craig.
I have had a script idea for that for a comic book for years. Predators
Dinosaurs?
versus dinosaurs.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And another one I won't give away, but no, but yeah, Predator versus. I mean, I think one of the most common like fan things is Predator versus Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, that would
but
be.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm surprised that never happened when Dark Horse had the rights
Right.
to both
Well,
franchises.
I just don't
So-
think Lucasfilm likes the idea of crossovers. I just
Yeah.
don't think.
there
Such a
there
shame.
wasn't any Star Wars and anything else, was there? It was always
Well,
20th
there
Century Fox properties.
except for one random Dark Horse story that kind of implied that Han Solo and Indiana Jones were related.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Indy was like the great grandfather. So, jeez. Well, he looks like.
I love it.
Well, yeah, we're getting off the rails.
Oh,
That's okay. This is they're loving it. There's, you know,
Live TV.
Live
Live
TV, folks. Yeah, so what I think we talked a little bit in the last episode about our introductions to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, you said that you originally saw it and it was edited on television, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's the first time I saw it. I think so. I was a couple of years late. I think it was around '89. I was trying to peg it. So about '89 when they started. Well, when I started noticing it on TV, and for TV back then, like you weren't even allowed to say the F word, which kind of gets slipped through now these days, doesn't it?
Sometimes,
Not over here.
No,
well,
okay.
Depends what. Yeah.
Not on
Depends where
TV
you're
at
watching,
least.
but yeah, on the
Right.
cable networks. They're
You,
okay.
you can get away. Well, I mean, if it's like HBO, then yes. But
oh,
like,
yeah.
but you can't. You can get away with a shit every now and then.
Oh yeah,
But,
we got this. That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they did edit a lot. We mentioned, I mentioned last in episode 1, stuff like the pussy jokes from Hawkins.
Right.
A couple were taken away, so you actually missed. I didn't see until a bit later on that interaction about the giant pussy.
With the
with
echo.
Billy?
Yeah,
Yeah, because-
yeah.
That actually, I know it's not crucial to the plot line, but that actually made more sense for Billy's laugh because when I watched the TV version, the Predator all of a sudden kind of had Billy's laugh, and you couldn't really connect it, but that made sense.
So it completely edited the scene out, and you didn't see Billy laughing at all.
No, not yeah.
Oh,
There was only Billy saying, "I wouldn't bet that on a broke dig dog."
Oh wow!
You know, when Dutch is asking him, "Where do we go?" The valley that leads to the east. Yeah, and that was it. And then they walk away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
that
that-
must have been so confusing. Yeah.
So they said dick and not pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and they said pussy at the beginning as well. When they're in the chopper, Hawkins' other joke.
Oh,
again,
they
trademark.
did say that.
Yeah, trademark Shane
Okay.
Black. One day I went up to my girlfriend and said, "I'd like a little pussy," and she said, "Me too. Mine's as big as a house."
So
and he tried.
Did
They kept that one.
They kept that joke in, but not
Yeah, they
the
kept
other
that one.
That's so
Yeah.
weird. Wow.
So maybe the censors just that one over their head.
Yeah, they didn't get that one. Yeah.
But we got, so Craig saying, I also remember it being on TV when I saw it first, but it was after the beginning, so I had no idea it was an alien or not. Yeah, the criticism I agree with is dropping the beginning with the
Spaceship. Yeah.
We said that in the last episode.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have done that at all.
About the spaceship at the beginning.
Yeah, they shouldn't have shown that.
Well, I agree as well. I mean, but I remember not remembering that. You kind of forget about that, and you get drawn into because it's so well done. Like the unseen killer, and
Absolutely. The lead up is amazing.
That happens at the beginning of the Thing as well. The first
Yes.
shot is a spaceship crashing, but I guess with that one, it's totally different scenario. But yeah, I
And
think. Go ahead.
sorry,
go ahead, guys.
no, sorry, Justin, go ahead.
I was just going to say that was my only complaint about Prey, was seeing the ship that early on
Okay.
in the film. I would have liked to actually had that completely edited out.
Yeah, I think
And some of the earlier scenes with the Predator in that film, I felt like could have been clipped out entirely.
I liked the Predator ship in the clouds, but I agree. Maybe the full shot of that ship, when the Predator lands, I think that could have been done away with, just to
Yeah.
give it a bit more of a mystique.
Definitely, yeah. Have
Yeah.
people guessing a little bit more. When are we going to see it? When is? Yeah,
Exactly. And so, Russell, you were mentioning about we're talking about the origins of this Predator film. How about yourself? I mean,
Yeah. What was your introduction, Russell? You saw this
Well,
on not the edited version.
no, I did see the edited version.
Oh, you did. Oh,
you
okay.
did. Okay.
I saw Predator 2 first.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah,
And
you saw
the-
Predator first. I love
And
it.
then Predator 1 was on TV,
Okay.
and I recorded it back when you could put a VHS tape
Yes.
in and record
Yes.
it.
Those magical days.
And I watched it, and yeah, a lot of censored dialogue. I can't remember any exact phrasing, but I remember the Hawkins joke being said still in the movie, but different. Like
Oh,
overdubbed, like, geez, you got a big house or something.
Really?
you got a big house.
Stupid
It makes
senses.
no
What a-
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And Arnold being like, "You are one
Oh, yeah.
ugly son of a bitch."
Really? They dubbed over that.
Yeah,
Jeez. I think from memory they just cut it. You are one ugly, and then it just cut in the version I saw.
Yeah, just cut it right off. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was completely enamored with the movie. It's going from Predator 2 to Predator 1 is kind of a shock.
Yeah, it's so different.
It is
so different.
So different, and I was used to seeing more of the Predator in Predator 2, where in Predator 1 it's much more of a foreboding feeling, and like the tension is, which I love. I don't know if I appreciated it as much when I was a kid as I do now, because like one of my all-time favorite movies is Halloween, and
The original.
other than the kind of prologue, Michael doesn't actually kill anybody until like 45 minutes in. I mean,
Wow.
It's a long time. Yeah.
He's
on
just
camera. You don't see any of it. Yeah.
right. You just see him stalking people.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so tense. Same with Jaws. Yeah, we see people die, but we don't actually see the shark until the end.
Right.
Yeah, it creates a sense of dread.
Yeah,
is nice
exactly.
for a film
Exactly.
like
Which
this.
they've tried to replicate. I mean, it's not a secret, but with varying success with other films. Just to kind of other times you get that feedback of, oh, it's just so boring, because nothing happens. But if you create the tension correctly, it works really well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love the movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. One of the most quotable movies of all time.
Absolutely.
I had a friend, Justin. I've heard me talk about this friend before. His name's Josh.
Yes.
He's a bit of an odd duck, and for the longest time, he would not watch a movie prior to the year he was born.
That's right.
Oh wow. Okay.
But he was
Sure.
born in '89, so he wouldn't watch Predator.
Oh man.
Well, after Prey came out and he saw that, he's like, okay, I'll watch Predator. And one of the first things he said, he loved it, by the way. One of the first things he said was, I didn't realize how many pop culture references come from this movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
get to the chopper, and I don't have time to bleed, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. So it's just iconic.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Craig mentions here, talked about Predator 2. Predator 2 felt like they were going, you know what this is now, no point in drawing it out, which I kind of agree as well. You're thrown straight into the action. Would you I don't know, I'd be interested to know your reaction, Russell, being the first one. Like, did you, because you introduced the Predator really kind of quickly, not the face, but it's the invisible hunter is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how did you kind of feel?
Well, if you remember, I had a little bit of context about predators from a video game.
Right.
Yeah.
And but I still didn't know really how they operated. And I just, I'm trying to remember how old I was the first time I saw that movie. I was probably like 10. And I've always been enamored with monsters. So I was just kind of like, I was just like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
because it is a different dynamic in the fact that in Predator 2, the city hunter is kind of going ballistic. It just kind of kills, almost randomly or seemingly randomly. Whereas it's that absolutely classic mold in Predator 1987 where it's like picking them off one by one, which is what drew me so much into the movie, because it's like these guys are the best that there are.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's been theorized that, the Yautja in the second film is a youngster.
Right. Yes.
And the first movie, it's a more seasoned hunter.
Well, they talk about, and it's probably you guys that we were talking about, the fact that when Anna talks about the story about her village, that potentially is the jungle hunter. So he's been around for a long time. He's very stealthy as opposed to the city hunter who basically just is like
doesn't care.
Poor King Willie didn't know what hit him.
This is Dread, man. Truly dread.
And we won't talk about we will when we eventually talk about Predator 2, the He-Man moment where he gets struck by lightning and he's like,
oh, I love it.
Totally psychotic Predator.
Yeah.
And apparently they eat beef.
They love their meat.
They got hungry like everybody. One of the things I loved about Predator 87 though was that it is kind of like a slasher movie. Like you've got this group of people that are kind of like out in the wilderness, like a Friday the 13th type of thing, but camp counselors or whatever. They're they're isolated from the rest of civilization. They're in a very unhospitable environment, and suddenly they're getting picked off one by one. But in this scenario, it's different because these are all alpha males. Like these guys are all seasoned killers. They're all veterans of wars. They're all mercenary soldiers for hire. They've killed countless people. Like probably the body count amongst all of them together is probably in the quadruple digits. So to have them be stalked and picked off one by something else, especially something that you can't see, I thought was a fascinating idea.
Brilliant.
Such a great idea for a movie.
And you're 100% right, Justin, in that this is such a mashing of genre. It is a slasher movie. It's also a sci-fi movie. It's also an action movie. And
totally,
like your analysis about it being a slasher movie, but these aren't helpless teenagers out having sex in a tent. This is this is a bunch of alpha males.
Totally.
And it's the same way Alien is a slasher movie.
Definitely.
Or it's also a haunted house movie because they're stuck in that ship. So I mean, it's so brilliant how this movie mashes together all these genres, and it doesn't feel out of place.
Nothing feels weird or like shoehorned in to make it fit into a certain genre or make it appeal to a certain audience. It all flows very organically.
Yeah, I mean, testament to also the production problems that they had as well. I mean, you can kind of see it because there was
Jean-Claude
like
Van Damme.
oh yeah, which is actually a beauty. I remember Carl Weathers saying they were able to act, really kind of mystified and shocked at this beast because when they were filming it, they actually didn't know what it was going to look like. They were working towards someone. For the large part, the predator is unseen, so they're just looking into the distance, or you see a close up of their face looking at something. They actually didn't know themselves what the predator looked like, so I think that really worked well for
That's
them.
so smart.
In the thing, but the production problems, you can see you can argue that the movie's in two halves, right? You got the commando squad in the first half, and then it's pretty much solo Arnie and more sci-fi related in the second half.
Yeah.
But
Survival of the fittest.
yeah, but it just works so well, and I just wanted to, off the back of what you were saying about the mix of genres, one of the key ingredients, and you see it like with the Magnificent Seven or Aliens, that you characterize, you actually somehow summarize a character of each of the members. So we get it so well here, and you get Blaine with old Painless, the big Gatling gun. He's the big bruiser kind of guy. You have Billy the Tracker. You have Poncho, who's he's the grenade launcher, and then you have Hawkins, who's kind of the front man, or the guy that does. He seems to be like the lowest rank. He does all the other stuff.
Kind of the grunt.
The grunt. Yeah.
So everyone has their place, and by doing that, you get this sense that this is a unit. And I love it how McTiernan played on that at the beginning. Like we get to see them on a little mission when they try to save the hostages, and just the way that he shoots it, how they move throughout the jungle. Dutch doing all those kind of
hand signals.
Hand signals.
Yeah.
It's all really cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And I mean, before we start talking about the cast and stuff, I don't think we can express enough how important Stan Winston's creature design was.
Oh, absolutely.
Make or break, really.
Definitely.
I mean, there was kind of this urban legend that James Cameron designed the Predator.
Yes.
And that was proved to be, false.
Yeah.
But I mean,
were they on the plane or something?
Yeah.
The story was they were both on the plane somewhere.
Yeah, that was the story. And thank God Stan Winston got there, because the original Predator design is so bad.
It's a lobster. It's a lobster.
And you just see it moving like this.
With their head kind of like just bobbing. Like...
shambling along.
And it's
pathetically.
like they were using like a red, it was all red so they could,
yes.
like
bend the
screen
light.
it out. Yeah.
But it was woeful, absolutely woeful, and it's just again one of those. It's like the perfect storm. It just happened to, and maybe pressure did that as well, because they were really figuring out what the hell. Like John Davis, who was the producer, and the Thomas brothers were really pushing the studio to get this done, and they were kind of like, this was a big risk because they didn't have many of the things sorted out. And again, if anyone who's watched the doco, McTiernan says they opened up the case and it revealed the Jean-Claude Van Damme suit, and McTiernan said, "Take it back. We cannot use that." Like he knew, thank God,
Yeah. That's good.
And Stan Winston, of course, would also work on Xenomorphs. He directed Pumpkinhead.
So good.
And Jurassic Park.
Lance Henriksen.
Yep. Oh, great movie. And Jurassic Park. I mean, he did the dinosaurs.
Oh, he did the dinosaurs.
Yeah, the animatronic dinosaurs. Yeah. So
fantastic,
good.
fantastic special.
I
effects.
think, and also Harry and the Hendersons. I think because that is the Predator.
Yes, Kevin Peter Hall.
Peter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Harry and the
Yeah.
Hendersons. I haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
I mean,
oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and we will get to the cast as well, but just a few credits here. Just want to call it out. I'll put this in the prompt sheet. So directed by John McTiernan. This was his first feature film. So what a I mean, because it's potentially a nightmare of production, like being in the jungle. Unhappy cast members, difficult cast members,
He
i.e.,
lost
Sonny
like
Landham.
25 pounds or something during
Yeah.
the production because he was so sick.
Yes, he broke his arm or something. He tried to climb a tree and he fractured his arm or something. He fell off the tree. This was his first feature, and he'd go on to do Die Hard, which is absolute classic. So this guy, amazing director. Written by Jim and John Thomas, who they still are very active with the Predator franchise. They're the creators as well.
You could say that.
Yes.
They were just in some legal battle with over the Predator.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Fair enough.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, as is their right, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and Trachtenberg has really kind of set the franchise back a light as well. So, you can see maybe they knew something we didn't. They knew what was going to, how successful Prey would be, and they just wanted to make sure that they get a piece of the pie, which they should rightly, God, I'm blanking. They should get, yeah, they deserve it. Anyway, the cast. Do you want to read out?
Yes,
the
Arnold.
cast.
We have Arnold Schwarzenegger, the aforementioned legend. Carl Weathers, El Padilla Carrillo, Bill Duke, Jesse Ventura, the body, Sonny Landham, Richard Chavez, R.G. Armstrong, and Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator, the original Predator.
Yes.
And can I just
music
say?
by- go ahead, Ray, go ahead.
Sorry, I should let you finish the credits.
Oh, no, go right ahead.
I was just going to say, because I did read again in another forum, if anyone was wanting to make the point that Prey was too woke and Predator is the film because it's all about dudes, you cannot get a more diverse cast as well here. They were doing it in Predator with
Absolutely.
you look at the ethnicities that were involved. It's great. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Music by Alan Silvestri.
Oh, yeah.
This score. We'll
Would
talk about that.
would
but-
go on to would go on to score the Avengers. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and a bunch of other films as well that are all great.
Maestro.
Yeah, and this was one of his very first films. If I remember. Budget was $18 million.
That's
which was
massive.
pretty for that day. That was, and the worldwide gross was $60 million.
Wow.
In the U.S. and $98 million worldwide. So this was a huge success.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a big one.
Yeah.
So it's it seemed to tick all the boxes. Again, it was the kind of a perfect storm of coming together. And this was the first film I think McTiernan wanted, and maybe Schwarzenegger as well, wanted to kind of flex, so to speak, Arnold's acting chops, his acting muscles. And so John McTiernan said, look, we need a good cast to support him, surround him. And the idea was then that Arnold will play off that, and he would get a good performance from him rather than the one-dimensional action figure. And so the likes of Carl Weathers and Bill Duke, in particular, were the ones that really play off Arnie so well.
Yeah, this is one of the best Arnold performances.
I agree.
To the point where, like, this almost doesn't feel like an Arnold movie. Like, you know how Arnold movies kind of have that feel to them? This feels like something more.
Yeah.
Like
on a different level.
Like Terminator 2 feels like something more. Predator feels like something more.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Commando or Eraser or
End of Days.
End of Days.
True Lies.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Twins.
Kindergarten Cop.
But yeah,
it's not a tumor.
Yeah. But you're 100% right though in that, like, the cast around him is just fantastic. And like some of the acting doesn't hit 100% the whole time, but most of it does. And like you said, Carl Weathers and Bill Dukes, so good. Like one of my favorite scenes is after they have annihilated the gorillas in the camp,
Yep.
and Dutch pins Dylan against the wall, and he's like, "You set us up!"
It's
And
all bullshit, all of it.
the way that Carl Weathers is so great in that scene, because
he was the best in that. Yeah.
he's like trying to be this. He's telling Dutch that he fucked him over, and that and he's trying to do it as cold as possible, but he's got tears in his eyes.
Yeah, it's so well done.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that, like, Carl Weathers, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was an ex-NFL player.
I think I think that's right.
But his acting chops are just
Carl Weathers
great.
was?
Yeah.
I think he was.
Well, he used to be an athlete or something before,
or a
but
boxer, or
maybe.
Well, I mean, he was Apollo Creed. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like, wasn't he? Did he fight
that's right.
a guy
He was in
called
Rocky.
Rocky?
Yeah, I remember he
When
was
the-
in Rocky. Yeah,
He fought for real, damn it.
yeah.
But I mean, he was well regarded as an actor, and no slights against sports people that become actors, but generally those that grow up and go to acting school and fully blooded as actors, generally they're the ones that can give good performances. But Carl Weathers, so good in that scene.
Yeah. Well, and he's still good. Like, he's on The Mandalorian now, so it's
Yes, and he's fantastic in that.
But speaking of athletes turned actors, we
Oh yeah,
we have to talk about Jesse the Body.
that's right.
So
'Cause this was his first Wasn't this his first movie role? Or
I think so. And Ventura was one of the first, along with Roddy Piper and of course Hulk Hogan, one of the first wrestlers that really had success in acting. Like, now, of course, The Rock is the biggest actor in the world, and
I would say that even Jesse Ventura, and I think again he says it in the doco, I think he even eclipsed Hulk Hogan. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh yeah,
the Hulk Hogan acting wise, he had like B grade movies. I mean, this is a pretty high profile movie for Jesse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
and he took it seriously, and he had quite a few acting credits after this, but he's really good. And wrestling is a natural progression into acting.
Sure.
And he's great. He really brings that, not to use a wrestling term, he brings that heel attitude with him to be, spitting on Dylan's shoes.
On the shoes,
that was so cool. I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's a goddamn sexual tyrannosaur.
Yeah.
That
no, I like it. Yeah, Dylan goes, "That's a real nasty habit you got there," and then he kind of just smiles and sits back. It's awesome. Just want to shout out again, because while we're live streaming, Craig drops in a thought. I started noticing on rewatch that Arnold does a lot of his more nuanced acting as well as the rest of the cast, just by the movement and focus of their eyes. He says a lot with very little. Totally agree with you, Craig.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a lot of very subtle things going on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and we're not talking Oscar performance, but it really does. It's you can tell that they're not phoning it in. You know what I mean? They're really invested.
Right. Yeah, like Russell said, it's more than just an action movie, just a shoot 'em up action movie in the jungle with a bunch of commandos versus guerrillas. It's a lot more than that. Really? And it would be more than that even if the Predator wasn't involved.
Yeah. To me, the only thing that feels like, and I think this was probably intentional, the only thing that feels like a cheesy 80s action movie is that attack on the gorillas.
Yeah.
Yes.
And especially with Arnold saying, stick around. And,
yeah.
But,
and some of the dialogue in the beginning, like when he first sees he's, "You son of a bitch," and they do the whole arm wrestling thing.
Yes, iconic.
That was famously actually lampooned in Family Guy recently, with some mock-up where Peter and I think it was Quagmire did a repeat of that. As soon as they did that, Peter said, "Some of your sweat went in my mouth."
Craig, we'll catch you later. Thank you for dropping in comments.
Thank you, Craig.
Craig's popping out. I just wanted to also track back. in with regards to just again in the documentary that action scene with the gorillas. So that was actually a second unit directing it. So McTiernan has kind of gone on record to say, "Oh God, I would have done things so differently." Because if you look at it from a film cinematic point of view, the way that McTiernan uses a camera is a lot more different than in that scene where they take on the gorillas, which is a lot more static. He said that the second unit it's typical like action scenes. They set up a camera and it's very static. So there is a difference in that sense as well. You can tell.
And it's the same stunt over and over where you've got guys flying through the air and they're
explosions. Gunfire, more explosions.
You can use that gag once. When you use it 15 times in the same scene, it's
I'd probably say that's probably my only quibble, if anything, for this film was that, because there's a couple of scenes, or there's a scene where there are 3 gorillas standing in a row, and you see them die about 10 times, because they use the footage over and over again.
Yeah,
it's like an episode of He-Man where
Exactly. So, but apart from that, I mean, again, as mentioned earlier, I think it was essential to establish what this squad can do, and basically that's what it did with this scene. You even see Arnold thinking outside the box, showing how he's a thinker. He's not just a mindless soldier. He calls them to hold, and then he goes down and just improvs and lifts up that ute and pushes it in.
I love
that's
that.
one of my favorite parts.
That was really good. Sorry, Justin.
That's okay. And also when the other guy's kind of burrowed himself in the tower, and they just shoot a bunch of explosives up there and blow him up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's got himself burrowed him like a goddamn Louisiana tick.
Yeah, that's it. You're hit. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
I got time to bleed. Yeah.
So much fun there. I mean, it was, and that stick around. There's another, again, a little. So I'm drawing a lot of this from the documentary. So, HOTU fans, if you've got the Blu-ray or DVD and you've watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But that stick around phrase, you guys know where that came from?
No.
They so when they actually had a knife salesman come in to sell his wares when they were going through production to choose the type of knife that they were going to choose, and they ended up going for the really impractical long knife. You see Billy pull out that huge machete.
Yeah, that huge machete at the end.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
This is a knife.
The salesman must have done his job. He got to sell these knives to them, but I think he was the one that coined, or they were talking, and he joked about stick around. So they put that in. They put that in the movie.
That. That's great.
Very Arnie
as a tribute.
Totally.
Yeah. And Ventura and Schwarzenegger had a little bit of a friendly rivalry on the set, and it all culminated with a hilarious gag that Arnold played on him. He was like, they were gonna measure each other's arms. You know this one, Ray?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And I can't remember how it goes exactly, but
Russell, not Russell, I was about to say Dutch, but it's Arnie. Let's get the names right. Arnie was getting heckled by Ventura that he had bigger arms than Arnie, and Arnie goes, okay, well, let's go check it out. And what happened is that, I'm starting to mess it up as well. They got a tape measure, but Arnie actually, he kind of sabotaged it. And he told the person to measure it to tell Jesse Ventura that he had bigger arms. So Jesse was kind of like, oh, I'm the big man. Look, I've got proof. So anyway, a couple of days later, they tested it for real. And this was over a bottle of wine or a bottle of champagne. And they tested it all together with everyone and proved in front of everyone that Arnie actually had the bigger arms than Jesse. And so he had to pay the bottle.
I love it.
But there was a lot of competition there. Again, I think it was Carl Weathers or maybe Bill Duke saying that you couldn't not have competition there because you have all these guys, males and big muscles. So if you saw one guy pumping iron at like 6 o'clock in the morning, you'd make sure that you get there at 4 o'clock in the morning and start pumping. So when they walk in, they see you pumping iron. So they really kind of pushed each other. And from an aesthetic level, they're all pretty well ripped, I would say. You know,
Except for Hawkins.
Right.
Hawkins is ripped. You see him walking off the chopper at the beginning. His arms are guns.
Okay.
I'd say
more of a lean build.
yeah, Poncho was a very lean one.
Yeah.
And I always remember when he gets whacked with the log by the Predator.
Man, yeah.
And then if you cast your mental memory into when Arnie helped him up, you look at Poncho's arms around Arnie's neck, and then you just look at Arnie's arms. Like it's like
Right.
Yeah.
Arnie's arms are like 5 times bigger than Poncho's. But yeah, I mean, taking nothing away, they're not all meant to be
No.
kind of big. Yeah.
Well, we know who the scariest man on the crew was.
And arguably the best, right?
One of the best characters in the movie. Yeah,
I agree.
Yep.
We're talking about Billy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I was thinking Billy, but then a little me was thinking maybe you're talking about Mac because such great characters, all of them. But yeah, Billy.
Well, Mac does come off as a psycho a few times, but
Yeah.
Billy is the the badass First Nations Native American character, and famously had a bodyguard on set with him, but not to protect him, to protect everyone else from him.
Yeah. He was a lot of trouble, apparently. Sonny Landham. He was a yeah.
So what did he do? What did he do to people? Was he just
He's
like...
just
start fights.
yeah. So this is kind of a sidebar. Are we allowed to sidebar?
Oh,
of
absolutely.
course.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sonny Landham used to come to the grocery store that I work at.
Oh.
And I never was around him when he was there. I would always hear the story afterward.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't nice.
Yeah.
He liked to belittle people and liked to cause a ruckus. He was one of those like, my damn coupon won't scan. Well, it's your fault. But yeah, he was a bit of a character. He actually played golf with a friend of mine.
Okay.
And they used to play golf, and he used to get along great. He was real nice with him, and
I thought you were about to say you never heard from your friend again.
I didn't. He's dead.
Found him out on the golf course.
Yeah, exactly.
He said he pulls out a golf club and he starts scraping it across his chest. Oh no!
Could you imagine Sonny paraphrasing, like while you're playing golf, he's just like saying lines from Predator?
He starts doing the laugh one just as you're about to tee off.
It's just, we're all gonna die.
Something out there ain't no man.
Ain't no man.
We're all gonna die. Could you tee up the next ball? Here we go.
But yeah, it sounds like he was the OG Shia LaBeouf of the day. Just a typical actor. I mean, that's the impression that I got as well. And
look, like I say that he was, a mean, but in all honesty, I mean, I didn't know the man. I never met him. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We don't know what people are going through. So,
Yeah, and those conditions were harsh. Like they talked about how cold it was. Like they had to have heat lamps because of how cold that Mexican jungle got at night.
Yeah.
It was, those conditions were rough. So I can see like some of the actors be like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What am I doing here? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they put them through like a 2-3 week boot camp, which I think they didn't realize they were going to do. So they came out of it being pissed off. So imagine that. But I mean, but again, the product is fantastic. The end product.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. Like whatever they did for preparations worked because it definitely holds up.
Yeah, I mean, so sticking with Sonny Landham, Billy, the character. Look, Billy, one of the more popular characters in the squad, being a tracker. Dan Trachtenberg has gone on record as well to say that that was a partial influence for him setting Prey or giving the premise of Prey being set, hundreds of years in the past for First Nations people. So, I always found him as cool as heck when I watched it first.
Me
because
too.
when he picked up those 2 bullets and he was able to tell a whole story about, what happened, it's like, man, I wish I was a tracker. Like, this is so cool.
Why wasn't he in the fucking FBI? Like, why is he in the army? I mean,
Yeah.
he could have been a forensic guy. Real, he shot him over here at about 95-degree angles. I can still smell the gun smoke.
Yeah. And there's that point of difference for Billy in that he's really the only one that notices the predator when everyone doesn't realize. He's got this sixth sense, which again is part of his tracking prowess. Or you could even argue spiritual or whatever. Like he seems to tune into nature a lot more. And
he just knows it's unnatural. The nature of these killings and the circumstances around all of it is very unnatural.
Yeah. Oh, there's even that bit where he stops, and that's when Dutch stops, and he starts rubbing that medicine pouch on his necklace, and he goes, "There's something out there," and like Dutch is going, "What is it?" Because he just can tell, and it just made him so cool when I was young, because he just knew something that the others didn't, and you see it with Poncho as well. Billy, you know something, man. What is it?
Goes, and that also really heightens the sense of dread. Right. Because you get the feeling that Billy's seen a lot of shit, and he's been through a lot of shit, and he's not a man that's scared easily. And to see him anxious, these other members of his team are suddenly like, okay, now I'm scared, because if Billy's scared, then there's something really bad out there.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think Poncho his character is used as being the one that kind of breaks. He's a defeatist attitude. A shit lot of good a chopper's going to do out here anyway. He's they're trying to contact a rendezvous point, and he's kind of not given up, but he's a little bit more scared than the others.
He's the Hudson of the group. Game over, man. Game over.
Game over.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think the only person. I mean, we've talked about most of them, but the character that is kind of the avatar for the audience is Anna.
Right.
Because she sees the predator really before anyone, and no one believes her, but at the same time, she doesn't explain it exactly how. She says the jungle came alive and took him. And that's another thing. Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
And she's the only one that's innocent.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's another reason I wish the spaceship wasn't at the beginning, because she gives that speech about the devil came for them, and like that. I mean, could have been a supernatural force doing this, but no. But they kind of immediately imply that this is an extraterrestrial. But Anna, she's kind of our vehicle. We're in her shoes for a lot of the movie, because she has seen this thing, we have seen this thing, but no one else has.
And we don't know what it is yet. She doesn't. She thinks she knows what it is. She has an idea that she knows what it is, but
And I love how the language barrier, I guess, adds to the mystique, because Dutch asks, I think, Dylan or Poncho to ask her what happened, and just it translates. They use it again in Predator 2 with the woman that sole survivor when the Jamaicans kill her boyfriend. And so the devil came and took him, and Anna is talking about the jungle that came alive and took him, and there's something like, that doesn't make sense. But like, she's so shocked and scared, it just adds to your fear when you're watching it, because it's this force of nature that has just come out of nowhere. Yeah. And I think that first kill was really good, again, in setting the tone. It was just so brutal. Like Hawkins, who admittedly you don't get to see much. He's the funny guy of the group. He tells the jokes, but he's still capable. But he chases after Anna because he's a grunt, as you say, Russell. But then there's a splash of blood just all over Anna as he just gets struck. And then his body literally disappears. Like, it's just a pile of entrails. And that is so, like, watching it, and you go through the motions that the other mercs go through. It's like, where the hell's his body? It's like,
did you find Hawkins? I can't tell.
Yeah. I don't know what this is. Yeah, that was super creepy the first time I watched that. I remember thinking, what the hell is going on? What is he doing with the bodies?
Yeah. And then, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Then I was just going to talk about the whole aspect of Billy calls out. So what happens then? Not shortly after Blaine gets killed, and there's that awesome like gun mowing down of the jungle, and they only manage to kind of clip it a little bit. But kind of skipping over that, Mac gets really disturbed and traumatized that his best mate's gone. I'm just jumping ahead a bit, but what we find is that the Predator comes back and steals Blaine's body.
Yeah.
Because he needs to get the trophy. And so again, that kind of establishes that it's not there to just kill. It kills, but then it needs something. So it actually
There's a purpose
went through
behind it.
Yeah, purpose, and it went through all the tripwires and made such an effort to actually get his body, and that's when we get the sense that Billy says, "Oh, it's like a hunter." And it's like, "Oh yeah, it's killing us one at a time."
That's I love to think about what's going through the Predator's head at that point, because like they're all guarding the body, and he's probably like, "Shit."
It's
like
waiting for them to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, no, he that poor hog gets killed instead.
Oh yeah.
That scene bothers me so much. Just that
I know.
how that animal cries out, and
When
it's
he's
just
stabbing it with the knife. Yeah.
I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun.
Oh,
no,
man,
I think I've
boar.
I think I've told this story before, but boars are very, very dangerous. Like they're, they can
those
tear your
wild
guts
ones.
up. Yeah, and they've been known to kill dogs as well. A mate of mine who I used to work with, he was from the country, and he told me the surefire way to kill a boar, if you're ever in trouble, all you need, he told me, was 2 dogs and a knife, okay? And so what you do, you'd position one dog behind the boar, and you'd get in front of the boar with the other dog. And now, apparently, I don't know how true this is, because apparently the boar is so protective of its balls, basically, and it feels that the dog behind it might bite its balls off. So it will actually allow you to come up to it and slit its throat rather than have its balls mangled.
Wow. That's some priorities. Yeah.
And this is the same guy also as well. Because he, again, as I said, he's from the country. He was stuck up in a tree for the better part of like a night or a couple of nights. His mates, he wandered off by himself and he got attacked by a boar. So he ran up and he climbed a tree, and the boar was at the bottom just looking up at him the whole
waiting
time.
for him to climb down. Oh,
until his mates finally came over and they killed the boar. But
ladies and gentlemen, there's prime example. Everything wants to kill you in Australia.
But yeah, they're serious customers of boars. So Mac, it was self-defense, I call it.
Yeah. Well, I think we have some of those over in the States too. I think in the Southwest there's some wild
but
hogs
I don't think they're as big.
No, but I have heard of them killing people.
Yeah.
Just randomly mauling people to death. So
it's the tusk. Yeah, and they're strong. They're really strong. So,
have you ever eaten boar, Ray?
No, just their unhappy cousins.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they say pigs are one of the most intelligent creatures that on the planet. They're very close to us in intelligence. But so imagine a very intelligent man eater coming at you. So it's like
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, are we going to talk about the big guy himself? He's right here. He's pictured.
Yes,
there he is. Played by Kevin Peter Hall. Huge, over 7 foot, right? I think he's 7'1" or something. So he is the tallest Predator still actor that has played the Predators throughout the franchise. I've checked. Dane DiLiegro, I think he's I think I can't remember. He might be even shorter than Ian White. But we're talking tall timbers here. So Kevin Peter Hall towered above them all. Fantastic portrayal, I think, of the Predator. Really kind of gave it a nuanced performance, similar to what Craig was saying. I don't know. What did you guys think of of Kevin Peter Hall, the late great, his performance?
He's still the best Predator to this day.
I agree.
Not only visually, but just how he moves.
Yes.
But he also played the Predator in Predator 2, right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he plays them differently.
Yeah.
Very subtle ways. It's great.
Yeah, I love the scene, and it goes to what we were talking about earlier. This scene right here, where he's coming out of the water and he's slowly, his cloaking device is going haywire. He has no sense of urgency. He's walking just as slow as he can. Whereas the Predator 2, it feels like that Predator's on something. He's just
jittery.
He's just
jittery. Erratic. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. I love that the Jungle Hunter is much more stalking, and he's methodical. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
And he plans out his moves, and like it's often said that the Predators are always they're always beaten by being outsmarted, but they're still really smart. Like,
it was only pure luck that Dutch actually got him in the end. That was not planned at all. So
because you see him go through that little chasm, and then
kill me, I'm right here.
And he's smiling. I love that turn of where Arnold Dutch is smiling, and then the look on his face as the Predator goes around.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh shit!" Sorry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But sorry, Russell.
I was just gonna say is what are you guys' thoughts on the Jungle Hunter, which that is his official name, is the Jungle Hunter.
Yeah, I still think he's the best. He's the most kind of quiet one, I think, out of all of the on-screen Predators we've seen. The other ones seemed a little bit, quote-unquote, louder in their own ways.
Especially
he also had the least amount of weaponry.
Yeah,
he only had the
big props for that.
The shoulder cannon and the blades.
Yep. No combi stick.
Yeah.
No
little armor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just a loincloth, wasn't it? I can't remember what he's wearing.
Yeah,
and
a little bit right here across his chest, and he's still visually the best Predator in my opinion. Especially he's got the best mask. The
Simple,
mask,
yeah.
Very
and
simple.
then like I think I said on the first episode, they've never been able to duplicate that unmasked Predator from the first one.
Yeah, that iconic scene it hasn't been duplicated.
Even in Predators, when the goal was to make that Predator look exactly like the Jungle Hunter, it still did not look exactly like.
Yeah.
Oh, just I don't know, the animatronics, just the way that things twitched, the raised eyebrow, the mandibles.
The eyes.
Just,
the mandibles, the way that the mandibles move. I mean, there's so much going on just in that mouth area. I hope that they still have this original head, this original mask somewhere.
Well, the story goes that actually they reused the head for Greyback in Predator 2. So you'll notice Greyback looks very similar. Well, it's the same head. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but having said, it's a bit sad because then it's gone.
That means,
But yeah, I agree, and I think because you can argue again that Wolf, he's one of my favorite Predators, but he's more like he's got a whole array of gadgets. He can take on xenomorphs. There's the thing where he holds one xenomorph in each hand, and he can just like waste them. This Predator, the Jungle Hunter, is a lot more cunning. It's stealthy, and as I said, it's got the less weapons. It has a very strong sense of honor. It decides to I'm assuming when it takes on Billy, it just did it with a knife fight as well. But
Wish
also
we could have seen that.
I know.
Me
Yeah, that
too.
would have been cool.
Yeah.
But then also with Dutch as well, he takes off the helmet. He knows let's go 1-on-1. So
And beats the piss out of.
what I loved about the Kevin Peter Hall there, the way he acts, is that it almost looks like the Predator has never thrown a punch before, and it kind of goes, "Oh, this is cool," and it just starts like punching because it's not familiar with that kind of action. So you get a lot of that, even like the unnatural when it gives Dutch an uppercut and he goes flying backwards. But yeah, really good depiction, and yeah, one of my all-time favorite Predators. It's hard to beat.
Also, one of my favorite just little things is the same scene, the water emergence scene where Dutch is covered in mud for the first time. And the Predator, he sees a little bit of heat and he shoots that plasma caster, and it's like a muskrat or something.
Yeah.
And he kicks at it and he goes,
Yeah.
It's just like he's annoyed.
Yeah.
That's what
There's so many cool little things. Like, I mean, there's so many facets to it because, again, the Jungle Hunter, there's that bit. They're showing the annoyance. They're showing the cool, calm collectedness. There's also the bit where, you know, he plays with his trophies as well. He sits on, it looks all, to me, it just looked like a throne he was sitting on up in the trees.
Exactly.
And he's just
a little
toying
nest.
with that. Yeah, and he's toying with that skull. Like it's, you know, there is some thought behind it. It's not like a dumb beast. He's very calculating, which is really, really cool.
I also feel like the Yautja in Predator 2, it goes for that self-destruct way too early. Like the Jungle Hunter only went for the self-destruct when he was dying. He's like,
Yeah, he's hemorrhaging blood from every orifice.
Yeah.
And I love one of my favorite little things about that is that, like, Arnold feels a little bit of remorse for him.
He does.
Because he goes to lift that rock up and he sees it hemorrhaging and he stops. And it's kind of like, that's very uncharacteristic of the time period because, you know, it kind of makes you feel sorry for the Predator because he's just being what he's that's what they are. That's what they do.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that scene because there's that mimicry that you get. And it's, what the hell are you? And it goes, what? You know, it repeats it, and you think that it was. You kind of don't know what is going to happen after that, but then of course the Jungle Hunter zips open that gauntlet and starts laughing like Billy. So again, there's a little bit of there's a bit of zing in his character, a bit of you know. Bit of dick.
Yeah, and
I love that. I love that so much when he starts laughing.
It's like, that sounds way more than what he recorded earlier in the movie.
You can tell he's been practicing a while.
He's been
on his
practicing,
own.
So yeah, I mean, the Kevin Peter Hall, fantastic, and we have to mention that we do see his real face. Kevin Peter Hall does get a cameo at the very end. He's the helicopter pilot that comes in to rescue Dutch. So I think that was obviously a little bit of service towards Kevin, just so he gets his face there. But yeah, that was a nice touch.
I heard some rumors too that it was Peter Cullen that did the voice characterizations for the Predator. Is that true?
Yep.
Oh,
I love that. Yeah.
He famously does all sorts of. He's like he's known for animal roars. Like, you would think, oh, we just got a lion to do this. Nope, it was a human being.
Wow, really?
And that human being just happens to be Optimus Prime. So it's like,
oh, okay,
yeah,
Holy moly!
Yeah, it's fantastic. He's one of my favorites.
Let's roll out.
Let's roll out.
Yeah. He and Frank Welker both do a lot of that. Frank Welker was the voice of Megatron. So it's
Are they still alive?
Yeah, both still alive.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice.
I think they have more credits on IMDb than anybody else.
Yeah.
Well,
and Peter Cullen did a lot of, like, he was one of the trailer voice guys, like, in a world.
In a world.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. also, I mean, we did kind of like bounce around, and I mean, this movie's quite old, and I'm sure people that are listening would have watched it or at least seen highlights of it. So, you know, we were never going to kind of go through like frame by frame and scenes, but I did want to raise just also a noteworthy was Mac and Blaine's mateship, and just how important that was to flesh out Mac as a character, and you see his journey, his character arc, but also, you know, with the music, I loved it. I think they used Aaron Copland's, he's an American composer, Fanfare for the Common Man. I think Silvestri played on that, so that was that kind of the trumpet that you hear, the mournful trumpet, which it's so unforgettable, that theme again, which was very much just the friendship theme for them too. And again, I think it's not original, but again, I think you see that sort of thing played off in other films as well. The Predator, there is the Thomas Jane character and his mate. You know, they become really good friends, and they end up killing each other. Remember that scene where Thomas Jane's on the tree? So they try to replicate that, I think, in some of the movies, but you can't beat Mac and Blaine together. And actually, well, having said that, Mike Harrigan and Danny Boy, that was
Yes.
But I mean, Mike Harrigan doesn't become unhinged; he just becomes angrier. You know?
He starts hulking out.
And we have to talk about the song that those two bonded over, which is Tall Sally by
Tall Sally.
Little Richard,
yeah.
Which that has become synonymous with Predator. Like even the Predator Hunting Grounds game uses that song.
Oh wow!
So cool. Yeah, and of course, Bill Dukes screams it throughout the rest of the movie.
I'm gonna have me some fun.
Long tall Sally, here I come.
I would have to say, for me, the most kind of hardest to take death was Max, because for me, you feel really sorry for him. Obviously, he's gone a bit nutty, but he lost his good mate. He goes away from his pack, but he kind of, I reckon, if Dylan hadn't turned up, because he had eyes on the Predator, he was hiding and he saw it in the trees, and then Dylan says, "Okay, you go around, I'll go around back it, flush it out." But he unfortunately goes under the log, and we get that. I think the first 3 laser shot up his arm and then on his forehead, and then bang, and that death scene was edited as well from the TV. You only saw the back of his head, and that was it. And then it cut. Yeah. Whereas in the full version, you see the blood flow towards you.
Yeah. And what always amazes me about that scene is like the Predator is not far away. He is standing directly over top of him.
Oh, it's so scary. But so Mac meets his grisly end that way.
Right after that, Dylan too getting his arm blasted off.
One of the things that always stood out to me about that is the charred flesh on his arm,
the cauterized wound from the blaster. Yeah.
Oh, actually, what I remember as well, and I don't know if you guys picked it up, when I watched it on TV, because obviously this is the first time when I watched it on TV, they must have changed the aspect ratio, because did you notice that? Because when Dylan and Mac were hiding in the log, I swear, I'm not making this up, you could see the boom mic just poking out the top. Yeah. But in the movie version and in the Blu-ray and all that I've got now since, it's not there. So I think the aspect ratio, they kind of widened it for TV, but unfortunately they widened it a bit too much, and you could actually see the boom mic, which was,
I'm gonna have to go back and see. I missed that. I'm gonna go back and see.
Well, if you've got the TV version, but so Dylan's death was again, I think, quite harrowing as well. He was the bad guy, but you still had a lot of sympathy for him, I think, because he tried to redeem himself at the end, try to get Mac back, you know?
Yeah. So I guess that leads in, what are your favorite kills in this movie? Is it Max?
Yeah. Well, what do you
I
reckon,
mean,
Justin? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think probably Max. Yeah,
it's
because it was
definitely
so
the yeah.
unexpected. I wasn't
It's
expecting to see those 3 red dots. I was like, wait a minute,
Mm,
what? And then
yeah.
his head's gone. And, oh wow, that just
yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say my favorite death is Max, but I also love Billy's, even though we don't
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, because it's so unnerving.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's just so brave or dumb from Billy.
yeah.
Like he's such a brave dude to just
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Poncho and Hawkins kind of get a bad. They don't really get
Mm.
glorious deaths, and Dylan's is pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, Dylan's is good.
and he fights till the very end.
Yeah.
You
still
see,
shooting.
you see those damn claws come out, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's really good. Look, going back, I mean, I'd like Hawkins was pretty cool in the fact that just from shock factor and the fact, if you're looking at the whole thing, the Predator was able to gut him and string him up, and like he took all his clothes off as well, like
it was quick work. Yeah,
very quick work. So that was a really brutal kill, I think. I remember when I went over to a friend's house and we were watching it. This was back in the early 90s, and he'd not seen it before. And it was that scene where Blaine is walking, he's going, "Come on in, all painless is waiting." And there's that hedgehog. And then I
Yes.
remember seeing my friend relax, and then Blaine gets shot. And I remember my friend just like jumping like at that. I thought that was a really cool kind of double take, death wise. But yeah, no, Billy and Mac, absolute favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about the music? Let's talk about the music for a couple of minutes. That score is so good, and I don't know what instrument. It's some kind of percussive instrument that's being played a lot in the kind of like a reedy instrument that's being played a lot. Do you
Oh,
know what I'm talking about?
I don't have a clue.
really percussive instrument, or
Yeah.
oh yeah, I think I know what you mean. Like it's it's like a hollow.
Yeah, and it recurs in the second film as well.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's very very simple, but it's so haunting as well because it didn't remind me of anything else at the time when I first heard it. I was like, wow, that's really cool.
I think it works very well in this setting because for me it's got more of that jungle vibe, which is kind of carried on in Predator 2 as well, although that is set in the urban landscape. But I guess people who watch Predator 2 from seeing the first one, you kind of carry that with you about this creature. It's very much like can be part of the jungle. I liked how Silvestri used very much like the military-like rhythms at the beginning,
Yes.
just to give you that really that sense. And the introduction of the team when they kind of go off the helicopter to meet the general was a really cool intro. So yeah, it's just, I mean, there's so many different aspects of the music as well. There's a bit where not only that militaristic kind of rhythm, but there's this other section which we kind of play it in our outro, albeit covered. It's like kind of suspenseful, cinematic kind of. It just works really well. And as mentioned, the fanfare to the common man, that play on that for Mac's theme is very powerful too. So Sylvester's great work all round.
Yeah. I think it's a really powerful score, and it definitely stays with you after you watch it. It's like,
I might be biased here, but I put it up there with some of John Williams' stuff. Indiana Jones, Superman, Star Wars. I mean, they're big calls, but as far as memorable themes go, like if you don't know the Predator theme, then you two people. You either like Predator or people that have never watched Predator.
Right.
Exactly. So you'd recognize the theme totally.
Yeah.
All
right, guys. Well, did we want anything else about the movie?
This is going on the trophy wall. It's a 5 out of 5.
Oh,
5 out of 5.
Without doubt, 5 out of 5. This is the top contender still. Hard to beat. 5 out of 5.
Absolutely. That's pretty. We're pretty much unanimous with that. It seems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. All right. Well, moving on then to our next segment, we actually have some new wounds to talk about.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me just chuck that one up on again. Yeah. So we're doing the Eyes of the Demon? The Demon, sorry.
Yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
the book next. Yeah.
Cool.
So we're doing the next 3 chapters of Eyes of the Demon, the anthology book.
Mm-hmm. And this was the first chapter is Proving Ground.
Proving Ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of this one?
Well, from what I recall, it's been a while since Ray and I read this.
Yeah.
From what I recall, this was the one about the 2 opposing Yautja trying to become the new elder. Is that what this story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like this one quite a bit because obviously this is like our first proper from the Yautja perspective without there also being a human side of it. Well, except for that real short one we got earlier. But yeah, I like this one because we learned about how the hierarchy kind of works, and we see that the predator, they're not emotionless. They grieve. They they have familial ties. And I really loved seeing how they handle like dishonor.
Yeah, me too. Deceit within the hunting party. Yeah.
In this story, one of the young Yautja sabotages the opposing team, and
it causes the death of one of them as the ship crashes.
Yeah, so our lead Yautja, which is another female, she not only has to fulfill her mission, she's got to kill her dishonorable. She's got to figure out who it was, and she's got to take them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like seeing that side of their civilization and how they work.
Yeah, one of the big things that I gleaned from this as well, and again, listeners who may be very familiar with the novels and have read a lot of the Predator or Alien novels, it's probably old ground for them, but just a female Predator perspective and just seeing this Predator world from first person, from their point of view was just really refreshing. And as you say, Russell, we had seen it before in one of the prior chapters. We got a glimpse of that, but this was full on just Predator culture. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this as well. It took a bit to kind of latch onto, because there are a lot of human characteristics and traits, just from their conversations and stuff, but you kind of have to suspend that sort of disbelief and just immerse yourself in it being like the Predators. And yeah, it was a really good tale about just competing tribes and that kind of deceptive one that kind of tries to sabotage. So yeah, enjoyed it.
I like that, and I should mention too that was written by Linda Addison. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I would give it 3.5 skulls out of 5.
3.5. Nice. Yeah, I think. Yeah, for me, I think probably 3.5 as well. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Ray?
I'd give it a good 3. Just be a little bit more of the difficult one. It's not bad. 3 out of 5. I think it's great. It's very readable. I'd love to. It's one of those ones that you'd want to read. I'd like to read again as well. Like they're very readable.
Yeah.
It's great to get that insight into that culture.
Yeah, and the next one, chapter 5, is Lion of the Himalayas by Amar Habib, and I love this one so much.
Oh my god!
Oh god! This is awesome. Yeah. What did you guys think of this one?
Oh yeah, this. Oh, it was. At first, I wasn't sure about it, but the more it progressed, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome and so heavy,
very heavy,
just like I mean, your wife and daughter are raped and murdered, and you're like in this senseless war, and now you got to fight a fucking predator.
Yeah.
So it's like,
in your old age. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yes.
I loved like, and it kills his dog.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just a really good like character study on this. I can't remember the main character's name, but
Abdullah.
Abdallah.
yeah, and it was beautiful, but it was heart wrenching, and I loved that this predator, like it would draw people to the same cliffside every time.
Mhm.
And it would be like, it was like a game to it. It was almost like, well, I'm going to eliminate you from the Royal Rumble now. And like,
yeah, you made it this far,
yeah.
but
And this was one of the best, and one of the darkest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree as well. I absolutely love this. I had to tweet out to Ammar Habib after I read it. I just, because I know, Russell, you were in contact with a lot of the authors for this anthology, so I kind of looked at that, and then I tracked down Ammar's contact details, and I just said, oh, just a brilliant story, thanks for it, because yeah, it was very descriptive. It had that back story for Abdullah as well, and that final confrontation was just so, you kind of knew what was going to happen, but he put up such a great fight towards the end,
really
and
did.
you know, the honor for his family, just that kind of motivation. It really had a emotionally charged. It was really good.
And it was exciting. I mean, the whole scene with him, the initial fight where he kind of fell backwards and then went into the stream and woke up in a tent being nursed by the son of one of the guys that he used to command back in the days. And yeah, it was so good. I mean, I could picture in my mind all of the stuff with the mountains. It was so evocative and just so lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm giving this 5 out of 5 skulls.
Way trophy room.
Yeah, me too. It was so good, so powerful, so well done. Yeah.
Again, sorry, I fall a little bit short. I did really love it. I 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Nice.
It was just really a very strong thing. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's one of the ones. Go read it first. Not there's anything wrong with all the other ones as well, but it's just something different. You know, from a different culture as well.
Yeah.
Which made it a really nice point of difference.
And the next one, chapter 6, is written by. Oh, sorry. The Fix is In by Jonathan Mayberry.
He's one of the bigger guns. Like, I know that he does a lot of stories, about Predator, AVP, and Aliens. So, he knows his stuff. But yeah, this was a bit different. I don't know. I'll ask you, Justin, first, what you thought of this.
This was another heavy one, dealing with the mother, Yocha, who had to go after her own offspring.
No, that's not this story.
Oh, whoops! I read the wrong one. That must be Bitter Hunt then. I read the wrong story. Whoops.
No worries. This one was it was a bit more. How do you describe it, Russell? There was an event.
Well, okay. Let me just say that like, I didn't think this story was horrible or anything. It's just like, I feel like, because I learned afterwards that Fix is an already established character in this universe. Like, I don't know if he was in the last anthology or a different novel or whatever, but I think I would have enjoyed it more if I knew more about him ahead of time.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a ridiculous story, and it felt very Aliens to me, and not
didn't it? Yes.
Predator. But my favorite thing is that this guy, he gets a contract to join this research team because he's experienced a predator before, in that he was a mixed martial artist fighting a predator in a gladiatorial game, and the one he was fighting was a baby. And the dad predator showed up, and they all three kicked everyone's ass in the arena. I thought that was great. But the rest of it, I don't know. It kind of, there was some tension and some like it felt very alien because like it seemed like there was some like corporate espionage, and there was like you didn't know who to trust, and there was these like the company man and the company woman, and it was like felt like a lot of Wayland Utani type stuff.
Yeah.
And it ends with them being outsmarted. The predator steals their ship and leaves them.
Oh, that ending is actually yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
That ending for me was the most memorable part
Yeah.
of this story.
It was really good, and it ends on a cliffhanger. I like the story, but it's not my favorite of the book. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say this one gets. I'm gonna say 3, mostly because I like that flashback of the daddy predator and the teenage predator and Fix just beating the shit out of their captors, basically. And the ending was cool.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd give it about a 3 as well. For me, the main takeaway is the ending. I really, I mean, jogging my memory now, I really enjoyed the ending because it's so open ended. Like, I love the fact that like, okay, let's try to fix this ship and let's get out of here. But you don't know, like, you don't know if they'll
Right.
survive or not, because there's that little bit where I think they're talking to the engineer and he's going, no, tell us that you can do this, because like he's going, oh, I don't know if you can make it. No, tell us you can do this. Like basically saying we need hope. So the engineer goes, yeah, I could give me 4 months tops or something. Just I'll fix it. And so I like that unsurety towards the end. But yeah, I was just left a little confused. And maybe just the setting of the story throughout for the fixes in. I think largely, as you say, Russell, it is because of the established characters, and I felt like I was missing out on something when I was reading this. But well written and everything. It just wasn't my kind of story. I'm a simple guy. I have simple pleasures. I like the Lion of the Himalayas was very clear cut, and it was a simple premise, but it was done very well. Over here, there's a bit of world building. It's expanding the universe, but I was just not really into it until kind of towards the end, where the Predator steals a ship and they've got to kind of get out of there. So yeah, I'd give it a 3. But ask me again after I read more of these Predator Prose stories, and I do read more of the Fix, and I'm a bit more well versed in this universe, extended universe, and I might have a different appreciation of it.
Yeah, I'll have to read this one and have my score for next time since I read the wrong story.
Well, Bit of Honey is good, and yeah, I think sorry.
Yeah. Well,
moving on from there, we actually have some more new wounds.
Yes.
We have issue number 2,
Nice.
Day of the Hunter, Part 2.
yep.
Which was just released this month. Writer Ed Brisson, penciler Kev Walker, inker Kev Walker, colorist Frank D. Armada, letterer Clayton Cowles, and editors Kat Gregorowitz, Shannon Andrews Ballesteros, Jake Thomas, and Darren Shan.
Oh, look, we had Ed Brisson on in our bonus episode. We loved issue 1. I'm going to open the floor now to Russell. Like, what did you make of this second part?
Obviously they're progressing the story now. Not as much happens in this one. There's also no Predator in this one. That story synopsis was a bit misleading. But no, I enjoyed it. I was glad that Sandy was okay. And Theta proving once again to be a badass. And of course, the highlight of the issue is how she handles those. I don't know what you call it. Those burglars, those robbers.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Just jump ahead.
Scavengers.
Yeah. These guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because she
And-
has the choice of leaving them to die,
Yeah.
and then she leaves them with the remnants of the meat from the creature that she killed.
And a med kit.
And a med
I like
kit.
that aspect of Theta. Like, she's not, although, I mean, Ed spoke of her as the Punisher in space, she's not totally ruthless and cold-hearted. She hates the Yautja, but she had to get these guys because I think Sandy says, like, you've got food for 8 days and it's like an 11-plus day journey up and back. So she just needs what they have. I mean, and they were, did they attack her? I can't remember, but they did. They kind of swooshed past her. Yeah. So she's just defending herself. She's got no gripe against them. I like that addition to her character. She's not just mindless and ruthless.
Yeah, she establishes that, like, I'm not going to kill you for trying to survive, but if you follow me, I will.
Yes.
I mean, I think the other things that stand out about this issue are obviously the dream sequence where her mother is a predator.
Yes, that was really good.
Really good. The art. I feel like the art is even better in this one than it was in the first.
I think so too.
I agree. I think Kev Walker stood out a lot more here because maybe, as you say, Russell, nothing. The story's progressed a little, but nothing really happens that much here of consequence. We get to point B at the end of the story. At the end of this issue, basically a predator right behind Theta. But yeah, there's nothing much. It just establishes a bit more character for Theta, I think, and it gets her. Well, she has to get the stuff she needs, right? That's the whole idea. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I really love the tension build up at the end. Like, she's putting the pieces together that, oh shit, like a predator's here. Yeah. And it's like this isn't part of their hunting route. It's too cold.
Too cold, yeah.
And not only is there a predator, but the predator has one of her weapons. And also, I don't know if you guys caught this. That looks like a female predator to me.
It does.
Oh, right. I didn't. Where's how so? Where did? Okay, I'm just scanning through.
Yeah, just look at the top left panel here. Very slender.
Slender. Yeah. Okay.
The build is slightly
That's
different.
True. Yeah, it is a little bit more slim. It
is either, in my opinion, a female predator, or it's another human.
Or a young,
or
maybe a really young Yautja.
Yeah, or a young one. I thought, I thought it was maybe a young one. You're right. I didn't consider a female, but you're right. It could well be.
That'd be so cool. I would love
that would be great.
And that's kind of in line with in the Predator Hunting Grounds game. You can play as a female predator, and they are a lot, slimmer. So
right.
But then this one standing behind her looks massive. So it's like
hard to tell. Yeah, it's kind of left ambiguous, but it could. Yeah, definitely. And so the idea about it having her axe. So did that mean? Because when I first read it, I was thinking, are we meant to recognize that that's her axe, or the fact that basically it went back on board Sandy's ship to actually get it, and then come back out and get her. Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. Looking at this last panel. I think this is another human, because why are the dreadlocks so far down?
True.
It's holding a mask. It has to be.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this speculation. Keeping us guessing. We'll have to...
What a great cliffhanger ending, too.
Yeah.
Another thing I loved, too, was the scene where Theta shot the beast. Yeah. And she said something like, sorry, but it's either you or me. Something like that.
Yeah.
And... I love that, because you don't really get that dialogue a lot.
It's the contrast between the two types of hunting. Like,
hunting to survive.
Hunting to survive versus hunting for sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, as we mentioned, I think the art really stands out here. There are a lot of I mean, towards the end, like the dialogue kind of goes away a bit. It's left really to the action and the visuals, to tell the story. But yeah, I mean, this landscape, it's so unfamiliar for predators, of course, unless you've read or had the misfortune of Cold War,
or AVP.
Or AVP as well. So it's really great. I just think the artwork is done really well. I love how the continual snow falls. It just fills up, the art. And again, the technology. I mean, Ed spoke to us about, giving it to Kev Walker basically to come up with all the details. And I think the details of the aliens, but also of their kind of hovercraft, is just really inspired. I like these kind of aliens. They don't look too terrible. They got sharp teeth, but they actually kind of look a little bit lovable. I don't
they're cuddly.
I hope that those characters stay around. I would.
Yeah, I wonder. We might see them in the next issue.
If she would get like a crew, that would be kind of interesting.
I wonder if she will get like some type of supporting cast. If they'll live long enough. All these characters will live long enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was just trying to look. I wasn't too sure if, because I had been chatting with another big Predator fan, Sparky Malarkey, because she was telling us that she works in a comic book store and she managed to read issue 2 before, like the day before release, which was nice little perk, working in the comic book shop. I'm not too sure, Russell. I don't know if she had dropped any feedback. I gave her the email Outlook email. I'm not sure if that had dropped in this. So.
Let me check.
Okay. I'll just while Russell does that, only because I'd hate to miss out on it, because I know Sparky listens, and big hello to Sparky, and I know she loves Predator. So
I'm not seeing anything from her.
Okay.
So.
No worries. I just thought maybe, but that's okay.
If we get it in the meantime, we can play it in the next episode too.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it shows up in the intro.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. Any other thoughts on this issue, guys? I mean, again, we've got a nice little wildebeest here or something.
It's a wampa.
A wampa.
A horned wampa.
Yeah.
I really loved the art in this. Russell said, I think it's a little bit better than the first one. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to give this 3.75 out of 5.
Lovely.
I think this story will work better when it's in a trade.
Yes, this issue absolutely, I think, because it's really connecting. It seems to connect the issues on either side of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. Once there's a complete Day of the Hunter trade, this will. Yeah, I would have to say 3.5 for me. 3.5. What about you, Ray?
Yeah, I'd give it about 3.5 as well. I think it's the art is it's really nice to look at. Now, people may have quibbles of not seeing the Predator enough, but you don't have to see it in every panel. This is a build up as well, and this is for all intents, this story. Theta is in a foreign planet anyway, so it wouldn't make any sense that so that actually makes the ending all the more cool in the fact that the Predator's there and has actually been on her ship, at least to take her axe. I think it does really well. I mean, Ed Brisson, so it's easy to read. The dialogue is really good as well. I'd love to see more. Hopefully, we get to see more Sandy, but can't wait. Yeah, can't wait for this confrontation between this potential female/young/human in disguise Predator.
Everyone place their bets now. I'm saying it's another human.
Okay.
What are you saying, Justin? What are you gonna go for?
I like Russell's idea. I think that he's right about that. Yeah, I think it's a human that's got some spite against Theta for some reason.
I am going to, just a point of difference, I'll go for the female Predator.
Female Predator?
And
it would be cool if that were the case, too. I'd love that.
What if it's her mom?
Oh, yes. That's it, isn't it? The dream.
What if she survived?
Did we see what happened with the mother?
No. I don't think
she died.
We did.
Oh, well, I thought she got her neck snapped. And she was
maybe she did.
And she was dead, and the little Theta was over her body when she died in issue 1.
I just remember the mom ripping off the
mandible.
Oh, the
the
mandible.
mandible and falling. I don't remember. Yeah.
No, she definitely, well, unless she was just unconscious, but Theta was over her body. But I like that idea, Russell, of that dream maybe being
Prophetic.
almost prophetic in the fact that it might be a female predator, maybe the partner of a predator that Theta has killed, you know, or a mother,
or the
yeah,
mother of one. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that would be the parallels there between Theta and this female predator. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to go and wait and see for that. So yeah, listeners, let us know what you think. Of course.
Yeah, send us your feedback. Send us your thoughts. Also, if you have thoughts about issue number 1 and you want to share those, definitely send those in. Any thoughts you have about these issues, send them in.
Absolutely.
We'd
And
love to hear from you.
Yeah, all the details will pop up towards the end of the show where you can contact us. But we've got one final thing, guys, to talk about.
Oh yes, the trophy room.
The trophy room.
The
So
trophy
who wants to
room.
go?
Ray, do you have any new additions?
Well,
Sorry.
maybe I should go first because mine's not new.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
Hang on,
go ahead,
let me-
Russell. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for these trophy rooms, unless I specify, I'm just grabbing something from something behind me.
Yeah, for sure. Still
okay.
trophies.
Go for it. Yeah.
So, all right.
Nice.
Nice. Is that the Celtic?
Oh, it's the same. It's the same mask, but this is Scarface. He is
check out the
from
blade.
Yeah,
I love that blade.
and he's got these little spikies on his helmet
Oh,
here.
nice.
He is from the Predator Concrete Jungle video game.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's nice.
the story behind him is that he was hunting in like 1930s gangster run New York, and he gets like he's on the run, like he failed, and the mobsters actually end up getting some of his tech.
Oh wow.
So he's exiled for like 100 years. And when he comes out of exile, basically the mobsters took the Predator tech and took over the world.
That's impressive.
Fantastic.
So he's sent back to Earth to right his wrongs, and
Interesting. I like that.
he gets into a lot of mischief, and not to give too much away, but I doubt anybody's going to be playing this video game anytime soon, because it's actually hard to find, but some xenomorphs get involved.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Nice.
Little guest appearance.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a glorious figure.
Love
love
it.
He's got
I
this
love the blade.
massive blade, and he's got this little spear gun here.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the skull on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool too.
It's like
And
you can headbutt someone with your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like almost like a gold sheen as well. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's NECA. That's NECA, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, everything I show is going to be NECA. So.
I love it. NECA, if you want to sponsor us, please contact us at
If you-
PredPlayPod at
If you just want to,
Yes.
if you just want to come on the show, Randy
Oh,
from
Yeah,
NECA.
we would love that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh,
I mean, we'd love some free figures, but we'd love to just talk about
we don't want to say that, but yes, we do.
Justin said the quiet part out loud.
Hey, we were all thinking it, so yeah, no problem. Yeah.
All right. Who's next?
Ray, what
yeah.
do you
All
have
right.
for your?
Well, I got really, very happy with some, and so all these were kind of, a few of them were third-party sellers, so I managed to get them really for a good price. So got If It Bleeds. I do have the Kindle of it already, but it's nice to have the novel of
Yeah.
it. So I'll read it through this. I think that would be cool. So this was for listeners. This was a Predator anthology before Eyes of the Demon. So it's a relatively new one, 2017. Also, as a bonus, the seller gave me this for free, which is cool. It's the Predator, the official the prequel. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be reading it. Just to complete the picture. Hopefully there'll be emissaries, and hopefully we'll see Ellen Ripley at the back of it in it. A newt as well. So if anything, I like I like the cover. Cover's pretty cool.
Yeah, the cover's great. Yeah.
The lightning. So I got that. Very happy with this. I thought this was going to cover everything, but hey, I'm so happy. I've got the collected edition of Batman versus Predator.
He said it. He said Batman.
This is the only one I have read. Like, I haven't read it in ages, but looking forward to reading it again. I want to track out the other ones because I'm sure we're going to cover it at some point in the show as well. But yeah, really cool. And I think these ones are out of print, so I'm very happy to have found this just on. It's one of the the sellers groups on Facebook. It's really, you never know what you're going to get. And the last one.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
look at that.
The Jungle Hunter from NECA. Really cool. There's a So I've actually taken the little fella out. Let's not use that as a drop. But yeah, but really cool. It comes with some helmets, a plasma blast. I've had a really good play. He's got the claws and the self-destruct gauntlet. A couple of hands. You've got a human skull and spine. I don't know if you can see that. There, and a skull.
Yeah.
And you can detach and attach the shoulder plasma caster. So
I love it.
Really cool. I love it as well. And it wasn't too pricey. Like, so I was pretty happy with getting the jungle one. Aiming for the City Hunter or Wolf. Both of them are good.
Well, you might want to wait because I think they're going to start doing ultimates of AVPR like next year.
Oh,
so
I'll definitely wait for that. But
I think that's the anniversary year is next year.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
When did that come out?
No, that would have been 2009 or something. What?
Maybe it is.
Or 15 years 9? Or something. Or I think
it's. I thought it was 2007.
Let's have
7 or 8.
You could be right. Yeah. I think you might be onto something there. Anyone having a quick little look?
2007.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't be 20. You would like the 15.
Yeah. Well,
something like that.
I think those figures are going to be coming. So yeah.
No, that'd be cool. And finally, Justin, because Russell and I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
this is something that I actually picked up earlier today.
Yeah.
It's the City Hunter.
The City Hunter.
Are those the Walmart ones, Justin?
Those are the Walmart ones.
Those are so cool.
Yeah, nice. Oh, we don't have the Walmart ones here. Oh, wow, cool.
He's got a little disc that attaches to his leg.
Awesome.
Yeah, these are the ones that are marketed, oddly enough, towards children.
Scary monster of your nightmares.
Yeah. Which I mean,
the spear.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And the very recognizable helmet, which is a bit more pointy and angular compared to the Jungle Hunter.
And I also picked up too. I could resist. This isn't Predator related, but
Panther. Oh, and it looks soft as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually
cool.
it's got the it's
felt
flocked, as they say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, the head moves
never
as
had
well.
the original Panther, and I was like, well, I'm gonna get him finally.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Put the Predator on Panther.
I did. I had him riding him around.
That would be another one. That would be another great crossover. Imagine, Masters of the Universe and Predator. Be awesome.
I think the Predator would get his ass kicked in that scenario.
Well, against some of the others for sure.
Yeah, it would be
But Justin,
fun,
you've
though.
also got one more thing to show off.
Oh, the shirt. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyone wondering why we've called our clan HOTU?
Not too far down, Justin.
I am wearing underwear.
Excellent. Yes, HOTU. So Justin, Russell, and myself. I'm still waiting, but it should be coming. There's a mix match here, Hunters of the Universe. It's such a cool shirt.
Oh,
So we're gonna unofficially kind of don that as our official garb, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I've actually
the
got
name
that.
for our clan.
I've actually got that tattooed on my asshole.
The O, right there. Love it. Oh no! Gosh,
Oh, that's great.
Anyone who wants to see that, become a Patreon.
I think we'll have a Predator and Prey only fans after that.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Lucrative.
A new way to
Lucrative.
fund our show.
Yeah.
You don't need Patreon. We've got one.
Dearie me.
Oh,
But that's awesome. Great. So this is the recurring segment we will do. If it so happens we do acquire trophies along the way, guys, we'll show them off. And as well, on our social media platforms, listeners, fellow HOTU clan members, if you have some Predator merch and stuff you want to show off, please do show. We love seeing it.
Send us pictures of your collection so we can see all of your figures, all of your limited edition stuff, all of your T-shirts,
Absolutely.
if your posters. I remember when there was a poster of Predator 2 that came out. When the movie came out, it showed like a full picture of the Predator from the film. And it had like a diagram of all of his weapons and things.
Oh,
Cool.
I love that sort of stuff. That's really geek sort of stuff. I love it. If anyone wants to share their photos, similar to what Russell has, pending approval, of course, on the Facebooks and Twitter, if you want to show your tattoos on your butt. We can't show that.
Make sure they're Facebook appropriate.
Exactly.
Spread them.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps us, right?
On the next episode, we will be discussing Predator 2. We'll be continuing the movie format. We'll be giving our full review of Predator 2. We'll be discussing the next 3 chapters of Eyes of the Demon. And
Bitter Hunt. Bitter Hunt.
Bitter Hunt. We'll finally get to talk about that. And we'll be discussing issue number 3 of the new Predator comic by Ed Brisson and Ken Walker.
It's going to be so good.
It's
Rampy. I mean, this has been such a fun time talking about the OG Predator. I know a lot of people have, Predator fans just can't wait to chat about the original, how great it is. So again, we'd love to hear all your thoughts. Please drop it in again in the outro. We'll get you all our contact details. But Predator 2, my gosh, it's like out of the frying pan into a nice psychotic fire. So.
I'm gonna have me some fun.
El Scorpio is ready.
Look into the eyes of the demon.
What's that? I love the Lone Ranger Bill Paxton. Hey, you're not my sister. Do you mind? That's your sister you're dancing. Hey, you're not my sister. Such a great pickup.
He's fantastic in that.
Yeah. Also, just a reminder as well, I don't think I've got it in the outro credits, but we also do have a Discord. It's still in its infancy, but please consider joining. Love to chat about Predator anytime. Anytime.
Anytime.
Justin, I noticed that I have a special name, and Ray has a special name on the StreamYard here.
Oh yeah, Justin.
I have to recommend one for you.
Yes.
Next time we do an episode, I better have that say, "The Prince of Powder."
Yes, the Prince of Powder. Yeah, live from LA. This is Tony Pope. Or Justin, you could just put in Big Willie. I mean,
that was actually my original idea. It was Big Willie. Yeah.
He's holding his King Willie.
Oh yeah, King Willie. Sorry, King Willie.
Free Willie.
Oh gosh.
All the Willies.
Well, you know what happens after I got my tattoo on my rectum? You know what happened?
What happened?
Shit happened.
I think with that we're going to head out. So, catch you later. Catch up.
See you, everyone. The Predator is the property of the Disney Company, with affiliated characters, stories, and events of the film, comics, novelizations, and merchandise copyrighted to their respective owners. Material used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only, under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, and opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners. Over here, over here, over here. Turn around, turn around. Want some candy?